Jedi.
Your powers are weak, old man.
Always remember, your focus determines your reality.
Hello there.
General Kenobi! You don't know the power of the dark side.
And welcome back to Disciples of the Force podcast. I'm your host, Spencer Silva, with my beautiful co-host, Austin Hyatt. We hit a year on the 20th.
Dang,
Perfect celebration.
that's crazy.
A whole year. We started with the Bad Batch, which is ironic for the news that we have.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send it off to you if you want to talk about some news, or I can talk about the news.
I don't have it all in front of me, but a new Bad Batch trailer just dropped for season 3.
Huge
the
news.
final season,
Which,
I believe.
It was crazy. Final season.
Pretty crazy. I wonder how they're going to tie it up. I mean, I guess there are like 20 episodes in the season, right?
Yeah, they're with the animation, they're able to do a lot more.
Yeah.
And they might have a couple filler episodes, but with the last season, I don't think they will.
Yeah.
The last season of Clone Wars, it kind of had fillers with sisters.
With the freaking Marquez sisters
Yeah.
or whatever.
Which was the best part of that.
It was. Seriously, it was better than Ahsoka versus Maul.
The other news is that they're coming out with the 3 Darth Maul comics. From what I was reading, it basically is just taking place a little bit before Phantom Menace.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah. So it's not like, So you kind of get like this, like from what I could see, he's just being the henchman of Palpatine doing what he wants him to do.
Right.
So it'll be good. I think I'm not going to buy them. I'm going to find them somewhere else to read them, probably.
Yeah, one of those virus-ridden
What?
websites that put porn on my computer. Because I didn't put it there.
I don't know where that came from, dude.
No, one time when I was in high school, I was working at Pro Image in Farmington. And I was reading, wasn't Star Wars comics. It was one of the DC runs, maybe Injustice. I don't know. Anyway. And I corrupted the computer there. I felt horrible.
You got a
virus. Yeah. So read it on a Mac, read it on a personal computer,
phone.
Yeah,
it's usually how I do it.
Yeah.
Fun fact: that's how the people at my help desk job knew I was a nerd. Because when I first got the job there, when I was working at SUU, they were like kind of all standoffish because they thought I look like I'm a pretty sick.
Yeah,
dude.
you look like a jock.
Yeah, for sure.
You're badass.
So they didn't really talk to me. And then my good buddy, Anthony, who's, I don't know if he still listens to this. If you do, what's up, Anthony? Miss you. Anyway, he said he looked over his shoulder and he saw me on the computer just reading Star Wars comics. And he's like,
That's funny.
Oh, okay. And so then he actually became my friend because of that, because he didn't think I was a tool.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, comics can do something for you.
Dang. Are you the cool guy in your workplace now?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Well, here's the thing. When you work in my field of work, there's a lot of tiz. Nothing wrong with the tiz. Should I not have said tiz?
No, that just reminded me of something.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I thought I was getting attacked.
No.
I was just playing. I definitely am on the spectrum. We all are. Anyway, so I work with a lot of cool people now. Not that I didn't before, but these guys are more like, not as like your stereotypical nerd.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, one of my coworkers loves football. Like, he'll message me all the time talking about
sick.
the NFL and stuff. But it's just funny. There'll just be points in time when I'm talking to them where I'll see them just have this really social, awkward thing. And I'm like, what are they doing? And I'm like, okay. And I'm used to it now because of working in IT for so long. And I do things like that too, but it's just very funny.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
Which I have another thing to tell you later about my ward.
On air or after?
It'll be after.
Okay, great. That just made me. I was sitting in on an onboarding the other day, and one of the IT guys had to come down and help get this guy registered in the computer and all that stuff. And I was like, "This is Spencer. This is literally not even in the way that Jaren says, look, this guy's like Spencer. It was like some of his mannerisms were the same. Like they would ask him a question, and he'd be like, I don't know, just
spot on. Hey,
I don't know how to describe it. You had to be there.
Did it look like he was BSing it? Because that is probably 85%.
Absolutely.
At SU,
and then he told us 85% of his job is just showing up, because when he shows up to the problem, like it somehow resolves itself.
That's
And
real.
I was like, Spencer straight up told me that.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing because people
Yeah.
are like, you're a wizard. I'm like, yeah, sure. But I hate that was the one thing I hate about help desk jobs is people would come up to me and ask me questions, and I would just start talking. I would go, well, so how it works, and I would just
Yeah.
lie, and they go,
Good.
oh,
They don't
that
know the
makes sense.
difference.
I'll just throw some jargon in there. Like wasn't like. But one time this one guy knew some stuff about it, and so I had to actually be like honest. Like, okay,
That
well,
sucks.
actually, yeah. But most of the time, you can just say jargon. And they go, oh, okay. Yeah, the database sometimes it just doesn't cooperate with our system.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's just like their Wi-Fi didn't connect. It's the wrong password.
that's funny.
Anyway, back to Star Wars. Anyway, so we did want to talk about Bad Batch. The trailer dropped. Everyone and their dogs posting about it on their Star Wars channels.
You're
I thought about watching it with you here, but then I thought the audio you can't really hear, so it's like if you're listening.
yeah, that's true.
Anyways, what are your thoughts?
Looks really good, man. I'm really excited about a couple of things. I'm pulling up an article because I didn't really take notes of all this stuff. Let's just
I don't blame
jump into it and we'll think of stuff. First off, there's a little glimpse of Wolf and the Wolf Pack.
Okay, I did not see that.
I think, unless my eyes were deceiving me.
I'll have to look.
So we're gonna see Wolf reunite probably with Rex, and that'll explain why.
That's
they're together.
Right. They're together in Rebels.
Yeah,
That would make sense.
and then Asajj Ventress.
Yeah,
I mean that's
that
the
was
coolest
huge.
part.
Yeah, that was the craziest part.
Yeah,
And then we were gonna see. Looks like we're gonna see more Palpatine
yep,
in this, so that'll be sweet.
yeah.
What else? There was there is just one of those things that so much is happening on the screen. You're like, oh,
Exactly.
the thumbnail for one looks awesome. The final season with just the
Yeah.
helmet. They showed tech again, like something like, oh, we keep losing people. I can't remember the wording,
Yes.
and they switched to tech. And I've said this before a year ago when this came out. I'll say it again. If Tech is not dead, I'm going to be pissed. I love Tech. He's an amazing character. But Star Wars, you got to just stick to the deaths, man. You can't just do this every time.
It's a great point. There was a lot of emotional weight to his death. And I hope they kind of use that as a catalyst for like them going to save Omega and everything. Instead of like making it like a cheap thing where he just comes back, you know.
Whoa, who is that? Is that Tech?
Yeah.
I'll shoot. I'll grab my gun and shoot my foot.
Yeah.
I'll come win crutches next week or whatever. 3 months. If
Right.
That happens.
I did see a little thing where like Crosshair was pictured with the rest of the Bad Batch. So like I assume Crosshair will collaborate with Omega to escape the prison that they're both in.
That's what I'm thinking too.
But yeah, I'm just really excited. What a pleasant surprise. It comes
I
out
know.
when? March? February?
February.
Like soon.
Yeah, soon. Like 3 weeks, I think.
Great.
Or, yeah, I think so. Anyway, well, and then 3 episodes starting,
Yeah.
which Disney should eventually just
I
going to give you
know.
the whole season.
It's so interesting. I mean, we've talked about like how their tactics to try to bring subscribers back. I'm going to fall victim to that, you know, because I have to watch the show
All right.
and I have to get a subscription.
Well,
The
first,
no ad subscription. Sorry, go ahead.
well, yeah, I agree. The ads
Holy cow. Dude, I was trying to watch Andor today
just kept
for
popping up.
research and like these dramatic moments. And then it's like, what is the state of the milk in your fridge? You'll never have to worry about that again because of DoorDash.
You're like,
It's like, oh, that's great. This is perfect. They should just match the tonality in their commercials. Give me like a sad diabetes commercial or something
dog
during
commercial.
Andor. Yeah.
Well, real quick, I did see something though. Netflix's move paid off. They have a huge bump in
Oh my
people,
gosh. That
which
makes me
sucks
so
because
fucking mad, dude.
I was one of them. Like I'm like, oh, I don't need Netflix. I'm like, oh, there's a couple things I want to watch. And, I'm
Yeah.
like, and they made it. It's only $6 for the ad version for 1080p, which sucks. It's like, you don't even get 4K.
And you're paying for that?
Yeah, you pay $6 a month.
You're paying for that?
I'm paying $6 a month with ads and low quality.
What the hell are you watching in 1080p?
John Wick.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That would give me cancer, actually.
Because
I
like,
think.
and like it's weird because when you go in, there's like different settings. Like you can do 4K with ads, or you can do this with ads, no ads, but have this, and like you can like kind of customize it to what you want it to be.
Wait. Is there an option where all of it is 4K? Because that can't be. I was watching a movie the other night on Netflix, and I was like, "This looks horrible." What was
No, it's only like if it's available to the show.
Oh.
You would still get higher than 1080p though.
it? It was
For
certainly
sure.
higher than 1080p. But I was watching Phantom Thread. That's what it was, and I was like, "This should be way crisper and better looking. This looks like shit."
Yeah, but I will give Netflix one piece of credit is that they don't hit ads nearly as much. Like I have Peacock,
Oh my gosh!
came with Xfinity, and that is like, I'm like, dude,
Wait. Sorry, we're gonna get off it again. Peacock. I have Peacock through Xfinity. I must have a different plan because it's like, oh wait, but do you watch TV shows or movies on there? I only
TV
watch.
shows.
Okay, I only watch movies.
Oh,
It's nice that way because they're like, here's a minute and a half of ads, and then no ads for the rest of the movie.
that's
So
and I wish they all did that.
that'd be amazing. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
And for mine though, I'm watching sitcoms, so it's not that bad because it's like it's paced perfect because it's like this is exactly what it was on TV, so it's not taking me away. Real quick, so this is your 3 options for if you go with Netflix: standard with ads, 1080p, $7 a month; standard 1080p, no ads, $16 a month.
What?
Yeah, that's why they get you, dude.
That's
'cause-
criminal, man.
and then premium 4K HDR is $23 a month. Yeah, it sucks, dude. That's why, because when I saw the $7, I was like, I don't watch that much. I'll swallow my pride and I'll take the 1080p with ads. It's like $7 a month
Yeah.
to watch like things that I'm not. But when you watch it on my iPad, since it's so small, it's
Yeah,
not
it
that
doesn't
bad.
make-
I just got a big TV at my house, by the way.
You did?
70 inches.
When are you gonna invite me over?
I haven't seen it in so long.
Did you get
I've been
OLED?
busy.
OLED, QLED? What'd you
No.
get?
So fun fact, hopefully my brother doesn't listen to this. My dad bought it for me.
Oh, nice. Damn.
We're sitting there. We haven't talked about stars at all. Sorry. We're sitting there, and my mom calls Ellie, and she's like, "Are you guys awake?" And I was out. It was Saturday.
Yeah.
It was like 10 o'clock. Whatever. I don't feel bad. I stay up late.
Right.
Anyway, we left Zoe. It was when we went out to Gavin's birthday. We left Zoe at
Okay.
their house, and so I thought she's like, "Okay, we're going to drop something off for you." And I thought they were just going to drop Zoe off, whatever. And I opened the door to this huge TV. I'm like, "What is this?" My dad's like, "This one's too small. It doesn't fit." Because we had just mounted our other TV. He's like, "It's too small for you guys. You need bigger." So they
Damn.
bought us this. And he was like, "Is that Costco? It was on sale." And I was like, "It's 4K, so it's not OLED." But I was like,
Right.
"Free TV, 70
I
inches."
mean, a 4K. Yeah, I mean, who
I'll
cares?
take it.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That makes me kind of want to kill my parents, honestly.
Why?
They just didn't give me a TV, and that makes me upset.
Anyway, sorry. Let's get back to
Okay.
the Bad Batch. 3 episodes coming out.
Yeah.
I'll be good. I'm curious to see what'll happen. I didn't watch Screen Crush's breakdown. I usually always do. 44 Easter eggs, it says in the trailer. So
I watched it. I don't know if he's fallen off or what, dude. There were like a couple things he got kind of like he mispronounced something, and then like he didn't notice a couple of the things I noticed.
interesting.
Usually, if he doesn't notice something, he'll like
Call
find it on Twitter. Like somebody will have noticed it, and he'll like
Call him
mention
out.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Nothing, huh?
watch it, and I'll watch it again. But
Okay.
maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention to his video. But it seemed like he missed some stuff. But now I can't remember what those are, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, we'll see. I do see it's got Ventress, Andy Serkis, and the Palpatine.
Yeah, I don't know what the Andy Circus is about. I didn't see that in the trailer.
Yeah.
I can't remember what he said about that. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention to the YouTube video.
I wonder if it's his voice for Snoke or something.
Oh, yeah, it could be.
Well, no, because this is going into...
Well, this is all about cloning, so
That's true, it is about cloning. But we're going into the original trilogy with this, right?
yeah.
Timeline-wise. But I guess you could be cloning then.
Yeah.
He's
He
done.
he already is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was stupid. I'm sorry. Anyway, I don't know if you have anything else. I thought I'd have more, but I can't remember.
I thought I
think
would
written
too.
down.
We were like, oh, we'll just talk about this the whole time. We won't. Let me see. Let me see if Reddit can tell me what else was in here.
That's what I was trying to do too. I was trying to look it up. I couldn't find anything. What I was going to say though, I came across an article today. It says the title was Disney's upcoming Star Wars prequel completely breaks Lucas's vision. And I said, what? Talking about the Acolyte.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they were just trying to clickbait me because I was reading through this. I'm like, okay, well, nothing you're saying is what your title says at
Right.
all, because they did say some people complain because this appears to be too mature. The Acolyte's going to be too mature, breaking away from George's vision, question mark is what it was. And then, so, first thing that I was like, well, of course it's going to break into, like, it's going to be more mature. Why do you care?
Right.
That's what Andor was. Would you have said the same? Like, I don't know why you'd get mad. I'm like, secondly, love George, but he sold the rights.
Right.
Even if he did have a problem with it, which I don't think he would, because this is a different take in the universe. I think he would appreciate that. And then that was the thing. It was like, this sheds light on more of like that it's not so black and white Jedi and Sith. It's kind of sheds light that there were maybe, middle people.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's what I want to see. I don't know if people want to see.
That's been Disney's problem for years. Like, Star Wars has always been for kids, right? Mm-hmm. But then those kids grow up. That's what the issue was. That's why everybody hated their prequels, was because they were grown-ups who were watching kid stuff, and they were like, this is outdated for us. We've grown out of this. Like, I don't know why you can't have both,
Yeah, you can. Well, that's one thing it highlighted. It said, George Lucas even stated himself, like, Star Wars should evolve and adapt with the time as it's going on. He's like, so when I was making the prequels, I tried my best to balance it. Like, Order 66, very dark.
Yeah, pretty hardcore, yeah.
Yeah, but still have Jar Jar Binks and stuff like that highlighted throughout the movies for the kids. And so it's like, and that's why I'm wondering, like, is there going to be this renaissance for the sequels? Because we were older watching it, like, this is crap. But it wasn't really kiddie, though. You know what I mean? It wasn't like...
I mean, some of the dialogue and
yeah,
humor,
it is,
I guess,
but that's Star Wars. Star Wars is bad dialogue.
That must have been a clickbait article. I mean, like, everybody wants that. Everybody wants some maturity in Star Wars, where they can also, like, find options that aren't as mature, like The Mandalorian and stuff like that,
And that's the one thing they brought, and that's what the article talked about, which was, I was even more mad. Because I was like, you're proving yourself wrong, it said. But with streaming coming alive, it gives the avenue to go down these certain different types.
Yeah.
You have Jedi Adventures, Young Adventures, right, for little
Badass,
kids.
yeah.
Fire. Literally great animation.
I'm going to buy a Lego set for that.
Really?
Yeah, there's like a little shit I might buy it.
And then you can have those more mature ones, but you could also, like, they can balance it. With streaming, you can easily balance it and give everyone what they want.
Yeah.
You don't have to put a multi-million-dollar movie on the screen. Anyway, real quick, these are the 3 summary points of the article. Star Wars: The Acolyte is straying further from George Lucas's original plan for the franchise by exploring the dark side of the Force, breaking away from the traditional focus on heroes and the light side. Awesome. Why is that a bad... I mean, I guess technically straying away, but not really. And then it says, The Acolyte is taking on a more mature tone, offering a nuanced and mysterious story from a Sith perspective, which is awesome, which differs from Lucas's original intention of creating fun adventures for younger audiences. Dumb.
Yeah.
And the last thing is, while the Acolyte's departure from Lucas's vision may seem significant, it aligns with Lucas's belief that Star Wars should evolve and adapt to keep up with the times, catering to different audiences and offering more specialized options. So in the last thing, they backtrack everything they just said. It comes from Screen Rant, which is pretty credible.
I kind of like Screen Rant, but they are notorious for like clickbaity stuff.
Yeah. It's true. But I was like, bro, what? But it does fall in line with those things because it's adapting with the times, like he said. So then it's not going against it.
I don't know, man.
Dumb. Anyway.
Speaking of Screen Rant, sorry, are you done with that?
Yeah, I'm done with that.
Going back to Bad Batch, I pulled up their article about the Easter eggs, and a lot of it is some of the stuff that we talked about. But this one says Tech may still be alive as the Empire's weapon, and it's like that clone, which I don't think so. Maybe, though. Last season, there was like a clone without a serial number that was like in all that assassin gear.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
There was a similarly dressed person in this trailer. So I think it might be one of those unserialized clones, but this is saying it could be Tech. So we'll see.
Real quick sidestep to that. It's so funny that like bringing a character back to life was like a plot twist. Yeah. But at this point, it's almost predictable that it's becoming a plot twist to have them actually die.
That's crazy, huh?
Yeah, it's so sad. Like, especially in Star Wars. I mean, sure, other movies don't do that, but Star Wars, it's like no one ever dies, really. I guess.
Yeah.
If you fall, you don't die.
You definitely don't. Off screen, you're alive.
Yeah.
Okay. Last couple things here. Sorry, Fennec Shand and Cad Bane are back. That was also
that's
the trailer.
right. Cad Bane was in there. Yes.
And then this was another point. I didn't want to speak to it because I don't know that much about it, but I'll just read what they say. Asajj Ventress is alive rewriting Star Wars canon, because in the book where she like gets together with Quinlan Voss, you ever heard of that book? Mm-mm. I can't remember what it's called. Let's see. They might say it right here. Dark Disciple. Yeah. Anyway, apparently she dies in that book. Spoiler, but that's a spoiler for me.
Is that a canon book?
Yeah, it's a canon book. So they're saying that like they'll have to. But then I know Lucasfilm came out and said like we're telling the story within the confines of what exists in canon. So it must be some kind of time thing.
Right.
I don't know. So we might also see Quinlan Voss.
Cool.
I don't know the nature of her death in that book, but maybe Quinlan is around. So
yeah. So I mean, some big characters popping up will be cool.
yeah.
I mean, when Cat Bane shows up in is it Book of Boba Fett or Mandalorian?
Book of Boba Fett.
He's only in it for one episode, right?
I think so. I think it's just the last one. Or maybe he's in it for a second in an earlier one. But.
See, that was when I like him in live action looked awesome.
Yeah.
I would have liked him to done a little more.
Yeah.
But whatever. Anyway.
But I mean there's that theory that he didn't die in that. I don't think they'll ever touch
true.
Book of
That's
Boba Fett
right.
again, but yeah, like
The last scene, like, because like
he has like a heart monitor that's like still
Yes,
going or
that's
something.
what it
I
was.
don't know.
I mean, no one dies. We've already talked about that. So
Yeah, it's whatever.
I did want to talk about on one of our videos that we posted where you talked about the sequels, about how they couldn't align. I posted that on TikTok, and all these people, I got pulled up, started coming out of the woodwork. So as of late,
Yeah.
in like the last 2 days, have you read any of them?
No, not in the last 2 days, no.
Let me see here.
I don't really read that kind of stuff because I just got to stay in my positive. Like as a
Right,
creator, it's, you know.
Dude, I've honestly gotten used to it, but in the beginning, that shit.
Oh, brother. Like
that would wreck me when they were
TikTok
made.
comments making fun of my voice or whatever would put me in a frenzy.
Yeah, that, and then I think about it because I'm like I want to type something like that attacking someone. I was like that would hurt me really bad if someone.
No,
said
yeah,
that.
exactly.
So when you have it happen to you, you're a little bit like
Yeah.
that was rude.
On the other hand, though, shout out to, I don't remember his name, but he said he's been listening to us since the beginning. Love you, man. Thank you for listening.
That
Appreciate it.
warms our heart.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't remember your name, but thank you.
I don't look at TikTok names to be
Yeah.
fair.
So these are the comments. I wanted to read them. This guy said, "You say all hated the movies.
Did not. Idiot. Listen. Okay, go on.
You didn't. All he said is why they were hated. Didn't say everyone hated them. Just said most people. Anyway, you can't speak for everyone because I loved them. They had their bits I did not like, but still enjoyed them, which is fine. You can enjoy them. We're not. You can love them. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. We're just saying the consensus of people is that they weren't widely loved.
Yeah. Hey, moron, I wasn't speaking for you. If I were speaking for you, it would sound like this. Blah, 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 because you're an idiot. That's what it would sound like. Tag that guy. Just kidding.
I almost said his name, but I don't know.
No.
And this guy backed him up and said, "Same. Love The Force Awakens and Last Jedi. Force Awakens, fine. Last Jedi, that's pretty crazy." And then this person who was like, "Well, then you two are in a relatively small minority."
Thank you, bro.
And then this person comes in and says, "Statistically, they're not." And I was like, "What?" So hold on, I'll get to that point. And this other person said, they go off. People.
I love that. I love
They're just
when
fighting
just
and they're talking in our comments. And this guy says, Stars is more popular now than it's ever been. Stats don't lie, honey. And then they
so
just
funny.
keep fighting. It was great. Anyway, the point here, there's one of them that said it.
Is this on YouTube Shorts or TikTok?
This is on TikTok. You have to go read
So
them.
crazy. Yeah, I'll read it.
This one guy said, ask any longtime fan, they've ruined it. It's probably in spite of what they did, not because of it. Wasted potential, implying why they were
Yep.
so.
Great point. Yeah.
And he says, I'm a longtime fan. I disagree with your statement and so do the majority of fans. And I'm like, what? And like all these people, and then someone said, where's it at? There's one that was like crazy. Like they said, oh, it's just the people who don't like it are just louder than the people who like it, was what they said.
Could
I
be
was
true.
like, I'm like, was that right? Am I wrong?
Could be true.
So I start looking at I start looking for stats. Like, what are there polls out there? And from everything I saw, most people are like, genuinely most people are just like, whatever, they're fine.
Yeah.
I don't love them. I think, and they think the prequels or original trilogy are better, which is a fine thing to say.
Right.
And if you like them, that's fine too. We're not saying you can't like them. But anyway, so this person said, yeah, go look at this girl's page. She'll prove your stats wrong. I was like, what? Like, prove that they're loved by everyone. So I go see it. All it was the box office numbers. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, what a moron.
That doesn't mean they're loved. It's Star Wars. It's the first movie coming out in years.
Yeah, you don't get your money back if you didn't like the movie, dipshit. Jeez.
Money doesn't equate to how much you enjoyed something.
Yeah.
Like, I can pay $100 on a meal. You would think, oh, you love that? No, I didn't. It sucked.
Grace did that tonight.
She actually.
She spent $100 on tortellini soup, and then she brings it home, and I was like, "Oh, I don't want that. I'll have to get something else." I was mad.
What
Anyway.
was it? Was it from like a big restaurant?
No, like on the ingredients and stuff to
Oh.
make shit. I don't know. Other stuff too.
That's
But anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
But see, I mean,
yeah.
you spend a lot. Money doesn't equate to happiness.
Yeah.
Everyone knows
Well,
that.
Yeah.
It can help though.
Yeah.
It can sure help.
But money can buy Lego, and Lego equals happiness. So
Man, that's good. I'm gonna clip
thank you.
that.
Thank you. Yeah, clip that.
Anyway, but for like a day, I was like, "Am I losing my? Am I wrong in my
No, man.
dislike?" Which I do want to rewatch them with you again. But after I rewatched The Force Awakens a couple months ago, and I was like, okay, I think what had happened for me is I had watched all three of them. And I watched Rise of Skywalker, and I said, wow, that sucked.
Yeah.
And it kind of just made me not like any of them. So when I made my ranking, I put Force Awakens very low. And when I rewatched it, I was like, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this is better than a couple prequels. Maybe just one prequel. I can't remember which one.
Probably Attack of the Clones.
think
You
it's-
don't like Attack of the Clones, do you? I do.
I think I like it more than Phantom Menace now.
Yeah, me too.
I used to not. Used to be the other way around.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know. They change. It's
They do.
fluid.
And when was the last time you watched Star Wars? Like any of the movies? I haven't watched them for over a year at least. Because I'm like religious about my logging now, and I haven't logged them in the past year and a half. So I need
Mine
to
was
rewatch.
definitely at least a year because I watched them with Ellie. But I think we were married when we started watching them. So maybe May. So almost a year coming.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we should rewatch them if we ever find the time.
No, well, we're about to get busy with them now. With Bad Batch
I know.
to come out, I think some other backlog
It's true.
projects.
We'll have to split fucking Disney Plus with no ads.
I know we will. We'll have to add that to our list of sharing. Yeah. Just let people who don't have a lot of money share, please.
For real. Don't give me a student discount. Just let me share with people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's better.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay, sorry.
so anyway, that's what I want to talk about. That
Bro, that reminded me of remember when we had that video that had like 30 likes but like 50 comments because it was those two dudes just commenting back and forth at each other in that fight? So badass.
I love that. I love that you can just let it go. They'll just keep fighting.
I
You'll think,
know.
oh, it's done. And I checked like this one. I was like, oh, this is dead. And like yesterday, they started
Yeah.
popping back up at each other. I'm like,
Dude,
whoa.
I saw this TikTok. I think I've talked about this before, but it fundamentally changed my like online presence and how I felt about things. Like on TikTok, there's very much a community of like, and any of these short form medias. It's like, if I disagree with you, I have to let you know.
I know.
And like, if you don't agree with me, you're wrong. It's just like, there's no need. Like, if you don't agree with it, just scroll on.
I know.
It's so annoying. And I totally get like leaving your thoughts. But to go back and fight with people,
fighting.
brother, that is not me at all. I'm never doing that, you know?
Yeah.
Unless Jaren texts me and says, back me
Back
up
me
in
up.
these comments.
Happens sometimes. But yeah, I agree. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Because it's like, knowing me, if someone said a statement that I see on the internet
Yeah.
in front of me, my mind would go, oh, that's crazy. And I wouldn't say a word with
Exactly.
it. But when you have that shielded by
Yeah.
the phone, you're like, you know what, dude? I think you're wrong, and I need to tell you that, which I don't need to. Anyway. All right. I have guessed that Jedi today for you.
Oh, dang.
I tried to make it hard because all the things I could say would make it easy.
So is it an easy one?
I would say relatively easy. But with my first couple are not going to be easy because I made them cryptic.
Okay.
Real side note, I tried to have ChatGPT make me some,
Really?
and it was super obvious the first like 5. I'm like, make it harder. And I was like, still obvious. And then I said, make it harder a third time. And it kept the same principle of what it was talking about. I'll tell you after.
Yeah.
It just put it in like this like poetic way of saying it. Where I was like, okay, well, of course he's not going to get that because you went way too
Yeah,
deep.
yeah,
with
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Anyway, so, and honestly, this first one might give it away. Homeworld unknown. Hair color, white.
Okay, well I know now. But
Nickname, Defender of the Home Tree, which I didn't know. I thought that was cool. This Jedi had 11 apprentices. This one has an asterisk next to it. His apprentice became his master. Asterisk, I'll explain later.
interesting.
He had a key role in defeating the Empire. The species is unknown. And this is the biggest giveaway. I'm sure you know it by now, so I'm just going to finish it for editing so I don't have to go back. He was born in 896 BBY, died in 4 ABY.
Wait, who could that be? Yoda.
Yeah, Yoda. But when I was doing it, it was like this green short Jedi. I was like,
That was so
okay,
stupid.
that
Yeah.
I'll read you some other ones. I'm like, that's there's nothing else that could
Yeah.
possibly be.
The funny thing about that is, like, in Star Wars, everything gets a name. Everything gets, like, a backstory. So if anything is unknown, it's about Yoda.
Yeah,
Like, you just know that.
he's just so because like the homeworld is like maybe because there's probably a couple that maybe.
I don't know, man.
Is he the only one?
Genuinely, like, I think every named character in Star Wars probably has a homeworld.
Because and then I knew right when I said that he has no speed. If you
Yeah.
didn't get it, I'm sure you knew by then. But if he,
Yeah, by the first one, yeah.
it's like if he who doesn't have a species in Star
Yeah.
Wars?
Which I wonder, does Yaddle have a homeworld? Because we don't know her species, but do we know where she's
know if
from?
she does.
Let's see.
Yeah, look it up for me.
Because that'd be weird if neither of them had a homeworld.
Let's see here. Real quick. So, a couple things I wanted to read about Yodi, when I was learning about him because I thought it was cool. So, nickname Defender of the Home Tree. Have you ever heard that before? I've never heard that.
Did they give him that name on Kashyyyk or something?
Yes,
I
correct.
have read that somewhere then, yeah.
Yeah, so he earned it because prior to the Naboo invasion, he went to negotiate between the Wookiees and the Trandoshans.
Yeah.
And that's when they gave him that. 11 apprentices. Couple of them I was like, what? Like, I don't like they listed Obi-Wan as one. I'm like, I think they just listed that because of what they say in
When he says go to Dagobah and learn from my master or whatever. Yeah.
in Empire Strikes Back. But we all know that Yoda taught all the younglings.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's that. The thing that was interesting, because it said his master, when it was listing masters, it said it was Qui-Gon. And it said in parentheses, spiritual master. I was like, okay,
Very cool.
that's true, he did. So like,
Yeah.
I guess it was his apprentice who became his master for that specific like spiritual.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
Yeah. So I was like, that's cool. What else do we have here? There was one more. Oh, two things here. So I don't know where this is. I think it's in comics, but Obi-Wan had to beg basically Yoda to accept to teach Luke, like even before, because we know in Empire Strikes Back he doesn't want to help him or he doesn't
Right.
tell him who he is because he's testing him. But even before that, he's like, "No, I don't want to do it. I don't want to teach another Skywalker. I won't do it. I won't have it." And
Was this after Obi-Wan died? Or before?
is that
Okay.
so? He's the
Yeah.
Force ghost, and there's a point where he like it was funny because it said he just kept popping up. It was just so persistent. Finally, said, "Okay, I'll do it," and he thought that Yoda thought he was talking about Leia. So when he found out it was the son, he's like, "No, I'm not teaching the
Interesting.
son," which is even crazier to me.
Right.
And then the last part, which I thought was super cool, is it talks about the Cave of Evil.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess there's this little thing where Obi-Wan is the Force ghost, and he's talking to him, and he said, "What's that place?" And he says, "Oh, it's the Cave of Evil." He goes, "Oh, why don't you go in there?" He goes, "There's no need for me to go in there." He's like, "Well, if you're not scared, why don't you go in there?" Kind of a thing. It was worded better,
Yeah.
but it was basically like
Yeah.
kids. Why don't you go in? He's like, "Okay, whatever." So Yoda goes in there, and then he's like, it says like, "In my old age, I'm getting dumber. Why did I do this?" I don't even prove anything to him. But it was cool. So I guess when he walks in, what he sees is Count Dooku.
Interesting.
And he starts attacking him. And as he's attacking him, he's like, "You're the reason I fell to the dark side. It's all your fault."
Damn.
And then I don't know this Jedi. They are in the High Republic. I'm gonna butcher the name. Keeve Trennis. It's a lady. I don't know. I probably didn't pronounce that right. I guess as well was someone Yoda helped, and she blames him for her fall in her final state. I don't know if she went full to the Sith or what, but she blames him. And she just stands there and doesn't help him, and he's like getting attacked by Count Dooku, which I thought
Okay.
was interesting.
Very cool.
So, yeah.
Oh, man, I want some more Dooku content.
I love Dooku.
Did you see that edit I sent? It wasn't even really an edit. It was just the Tales of the Jedi stuff about Dooku.
Yes.
It made me sad. Like, made me tear up, straight up.
So like, yeah, when at the very end when he finds out Qui-Gon dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't think I'd be pleasant company at the funeral.
So, dude, you should, because his backstory hit me even harder when I read that book. Because of like he's just like has no one other than Sifo Dyas is the
Right.
one he has.
Send me that book.
That one's a good book. I think you'll like it.
By the way, everybody, I finished Thrawn. Sucks ass. I didn't want to finish it.
Yeah, the first one, it's not amazing. I genuinely think if you listen to the second one, you'd like it.
I'll listen to the second one.
Because you get Darth Vader and Anakin switching back and forth. I mean, the middle of the book, you're kind of like, okay, this could hurry along.
Yeah.
But anyway, real quick, this is the thing that ChatGPT had for the first 5. I'll just read you the first one. It said, "This wise Jedi, small in stature but large in wisdom, resides in a place where the Force is strong." Okay, well, that's pretty easy.
Okay.
And then known
I bet
for
it's Yoda. Is it Yoda?
It's Yoda. And then it says, known for his unique speech pattern, he imparts profound teachings that often involve the mind and the Force. It's like, okay, make this harder.
These are like general trivia
Right.
hints. Like
Yeah.
if it's not Star Wars based trivia and like you just don't know anything,
Right.
like that's what you would get it off of.
Yeah, exactly. Which would be, but I was like, and I told her, I was like, this is for a podcast about Star Wars where we talk about it. Like, it's got to be kind of hard.
Did you call it GPT or her or him? Or did you say it? I thought you gave it a gender just now.
I probably gave it a gender. We'll call him him.
I call him him all the time.
So he says to me.
Yeah.
So then I said, make the hints harder. And then it said, the green luminescence of his lightsaber is a beacon of wisdom in the shadows of an ancient planet. I was like, okay, well, that's
Yeah,
too-
cringe.
What are you talking
Is
about?
ChatGPT autistic? I
I think so.
think it might be.
And then it says, communicates in cryptic riddles, his words a puzzle that only the attuned can decipher. Okay?
It's so stupid.
Like, making it harder, not using, because it literally just took the same things
Yeah.
and just used different
That's
words.
funny.
And then the last one, this is crazy. You gotta make sure you use the ones I can pronounce the words to. The uttering cryptic utterances akin to a mystical indication, his dialect conceals more than it reveals. I was like, dude, if
Yeah, jeez.
I would have said that to you, you'd have hit me.
I would have thrown something. I wish I had something to throw.
So, yeah, anyway, I'm done with that. That was my spiel.
Okay, well, cool. Got it on the first hint. Check me,
Check him.
fans.
Check him.
Yeah.
He literally looked at me and he said, Yoda. Yeah. I thought it was hot. My last bit of talking here for me, if I may. Well, am I allowed?
Please.
Couple just from a certain point of view stories that I thought were cool.
Real quick detour. Did
Go
you
ahead.
see the comments on, I think it was YouTube Shorts when you were doing your last one?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Is he pretending this is real? It's like, are you
I'm
stupid?
glad you saw that because I was like, all of them were like, I think he's trying to say as if it like really happened. And I was like, no, you morons. I had to respond and say, I'm talking
Yeah.
about the book from a certain point of view. These are what's happening. And then someone's like, I think he's thinking it's real life. What do you
Yeah.
think I am?
Seriously. Just funny.
And, I mean, great interaction, but still, I was like, what? So this one, none of these stories have left me like sad. This story, I was like, I had to pause the audiobook. I was like, that bummed me the hell out. Is the story of this dad, and it's one of those like, you start at the end of the movie kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
He says and it's him talking to I think his brother, and he's giving his daughter to him. He's like, okay, keep her safe, watch over her. She's like a little baby. And then it says 7 hours earlier, and it cuts to him, and he's trying to record a thing for his daughter. He's like, when you see this, I want to explain why you're not with me, and hopefully I'm still alive, but if I'm not, I want to give you answers to what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay. And so what happens is crazy. Basically, the Empire comes in, and they take over this. He works for making Y-Wings, and they take over. They say, hey, they were having a hard time, so we're just going to take over your thing. And he's like, I don't think that's true at all. I think they're just bulldozing their way in to take over. Him and his wife work there, right? And they talk about how these people started getting moved up in the Empire, like people that he would worked with who were like just mechanics started getting pushed up and becoming better and better. And then one of them became like basically an admiral. And a rumor started going around that they were rebels. And he's like, and we weren't at the time. He's like, so everyone started saying, oh, they're rebels, they're rebels. And so they made him and his wife and the guy didn't like him because they'd always bring their daughter around.
Right.
Anyway, so they bring them both in front of everyone, and he said, "Say you're a rebel right now in front of everyone." And she's like, "I'm literally not. I'm not a rebel." He's like, "Say it." She's like, "I'm not." And then he says, like the flick of a light switch, he just shot her, killed her right in front of everyone,
Jeez.
killed his wife. I was like, "Damn, dude!" He's like it was nothing. Like he just flipped a switch.
Uh-huh.
He's like, "This is someone I knew for years. That was he just got a little bit of power and he just ran with it."
Wow.
Anyways, and then then he decides to join the Empire. The rebels, the rebellion. Then, and he's just like talking. He's like, it says he pauses a thing and starts to cry. This is too dark for her, and he keeps trying to make this video for his daughter, and then he has to give her away. I don't know, the way they portrayed it. I was like, that was depressing as hell. And then he lets her go, and then he's just on his own, and it ends. There's no sleep. There's nothing that happens. Just a story of what was happening.
Just the wrath of the Empire.
Which it was good because I love the stories, but damn, bummed me out. And then I just want to read one more. I got to figure out the better one.
Real quick while you're looking for that, that reminds me of another piece of literature. Can I share it with you?
Oh, sure. Is the book
The book of what?
Boba Fett?
Oh, yeah. A wise man once wrote, "We have learned by sad experience that it is the nature and disposition of almost all men, as soon as they get a little authority, as they suppose, they will immediately begin to exercise unrighteous dominion."
That's, first off, impressive that you found that out. Did you know the verse?
Yeah. Well, I just typed in like half the verse.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, that's some good knowledge. Where can they find that?
You can find that at thechurchofjesuschrist.org, Doctrine and Covenants, section 121, verse 39. Doing some missionary work out here.
But it's true. You give someone power, dude,
Great point.
unrighteous dominion.
Then you start killing people.
You start killing people's wives because they're part of the rebellion. The last thing I was going to say, this one, a couple of these stories, I was like, damn, these are sad. Belle and Brea, you know them. They're Leia's parents. Talks about when they find out that Leia's transport was destroyed. They get that information and they're freaking out. And she's like, we have to figure out where she is. And they're doing all this work to try to figure it out. And then all of a sudden,
Literally.
they're sitting there and they try to get a transmission. Like, did you find her? They go, no. Something, Death Star. Or not, they don't call it Death Star. They go, the weapon.
Something, dark side.
He goes, something, the weapon. They go, what? The weapon, the Empire. And they say they look up and they see it. And
Oh my gosh.
Belle just like looks at it and he's like, uh-oh, basically. And she's like, what is that? He's like, it's the weapon that we've heard rumors about.
He's standing right behind me, isn't he?
He's standing right behind me, isn't he? But super sad, dude, because then she was like, Brea's like, okay, well, we can get people on the transport. We have time. We can get out of here. They're not going to kill us all. We can get some people. And then right when she says that, the beam just hits.
Dang.
They say they just see mountains blowing up.
Yeah.
And they look at each other and they just hold each other. And she said she just feels his face on his. And then the last thing that she says is, I know Leia's alive. I would have felt it if she died. And then it ends.
Dang.
I was
That's
like,
crazy.
damn, dude.
Are you done with the book?
No, I still have 4 more hours of.
Jeez, you got a lot.
I
didn't know there were so many stories.
Tons. And like there's like that, those are stories I want to hear of the Empire.
Yeah, for real.
Because that's like, you just shows like, all you really get in New Hope is, I've heard, what does he say? Millions of voices silenced. I can't remember what everyone says. The exact wording.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
But when you take away the number and you're like, we know these two people because we've seen them in Obi-Wan. We finally get to see Brea, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
And
Bad.
Belle, she's bad, and then Belle we've seen for a while. So
Yeah, Jimmy Smits, he's hot.
Bad thing.
That's also why I like Rogue One is like from the shots they do from the ground of the Death Star hitting. Yeah. So cool. And it makes you like realize the power of it.
Yes, exactly. And that's what my mind kind of was piecing what happened there to Alderaan. Also, they talks about in there about how I've never, I guess I've known this, but I never like thought specifically about it. But like just the irony of Krennic putting everything into this thing and watching himself get destroyed. Because there's another story, and it's like Krennic says, "Damn you, Tarkin, you bastard," or something, and then he dies, fades to black.
Dang.
Anyway, sorry. That's all I have for this portion of the Star Wars stuff.
That's fine, dude. Literally.
So anyway, let's hear more from Austin. I'm done talking. Let's talk about the Andor episodes.
Okay, let's talk about it. I like this episode a lot.
Amazing.
The dialogue in this movie, in this show, it's great, dude. When they're sitting there, and this may not be entertaining to other people, but at the very beginning, when they're sitting there with like that Chandrillan like crime boss, it seems like banker or whatever, Mon Mothma and her lender talking to the guy, and he like proposes to introduce his son to her daughter. It's like so. The dialogue is so interesting because it like seems so natural, and you never hear that in Star Wars. Let me drop some cool information. Last night I went to Sundance, the film festival. And after the movie there was a Q&A with the director of the movie. And one of the things I really liked about the movie was like how natural the dialogue is. Cuz this is just a big nitpick that I have in just about everything I watch. I'm like, I would never say that in a casual conversation like that, you know? And
Same thing.
It's hard because how do you make a whole movie with natural dialogue and make it interesting, you know, because nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Most of the time, or at least not in everything. Anyway, after the Q&A, we talk, just me, Kaysen, the producer, and the director in the lobby for like 15, 20 minutes.
So, that's awesome.
It was so cool. One of the coolest experiences of my life.
So what if that becomes like wins an Oscar? How crazy would that be?
Well, that's why I wanted a picture was like, I was like, this movie is good enough that it's going to get picked up by a distributor and like this lady's going to be famous. Like, this is awesome.
Real side note, I read a part of what Kaysen said. I don't know anything about the movie, but he talked about this imagery of what happened. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, that sounded awesome.
No, it's
like,
great, dude.
If it's anything what he just described, then I want to watch this movie.
I hope we can watch it sometime. They did not sound very hopeful, though. They
Really?
were like, those filmmakers have to pay to watch their own movies at Sundance. And they just like, the producer works a full-time job and like produced and helped write on the side.
Wow.
And the director doesn't have a job. Like, she's like, yeah, I hope it gets picked up or else I have to find a job. Like, just crazy.
Wow.
Anyway, when it was just the four of us, I asked her, like, how do you write dialogue like that? Like, so natural. And she's like, I just pay attention to the rhythm of the way people talk. Like, writing dialogue is my favorite part of writing. And like, it's just like, oh my gosh, that is so interesting. Like,
That's really cool.
Keying into how people talk in their daily life, the rhythms and like the mannerisms and everything like that. I feel like whoever helped write, because it was Tony Gilroy who helped write on Andor. I'm not sure if he did all of the screenplay stuff and all the dialogue and whatever, but like that little business exchange is so cool because like they're not really saying what they mean most of the time, but the message is so clear.
Yeah.
And that's how you talk in an uncomfortable situation.
Right.
Like, you try to allude to things and like you try to check your understanding against somebody's statement, and it's just so cool and so natural. Very cool.
So one of the many things I love about this podcast is that Austin says something that I'm thinking, and he just says it 1,000 times better. I wrote that. Literally said the dialogue is great when he's talking in that specific scene. But what I love about it is they don't do that cringy, just like when he's implying that he wants his son to marry her daughter. Very casually in the beginning, they foreshadow when he talks about arranged marriages. You don't think about anything about it. And then he says, well, I just want to, and when I come back, I'll bring my son. That's all he says.
Yeah.
And she says, you can't be serious. In every movie I've ever seen, they go, oh, you want him to, like, they just specifically say it. I'm like, dude, no one does that.
Yeah.
Like, and it was so natural, just exactly, and I loved it. Flowed so good. You get what they're saying without having to hear the exact words.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I've been in that situation where I want to ask something difficult. Like if I'm asking my mom for something, I'll like put little breadcrumbs in and like test her reaction, and then like comes the hard question.
Exactly.
You just don't really see that anywhere.
Mom, does it take like a long time to cook? Yeah, sometimes. Do you like it? No. What if we like went out today?
Yeah, exactly.
Not that cringy, but along that line.
Along that line, yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. No, 100. You nailed it.
Thank you.
And I love that this episode. The dialogue was really good. One thing I did love right in the beginning is when Cassian says, "I'd rather die trying to take them down than die having what." Can I read this? I got
Sure,
nervous.
go ahead.
Hey, I got nervous. Die trying to take them down rather than die to take them. What the hell is wrong with me? To give them what they want. Can I restart that? You get what I said.
Yeah.
Anyway, point being, he's going against him. And then I love later in the episode when I forget Andy Serkis' name in the show.
Kino.
When he literally says the same exact thing, which is the second time they've done this in the series, where one character says it to the other and the other is like, it resonates with them and they get it. And
Yeah.
then they say it.
Yeah, because a common theme in the series is just like planting seeds, and then like the pressure building up to like a spillage point where like you have to take action.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this episode is like Andy Serkis. A lot of people don't know this. I've probably talked about it every week actually, so people probably do. But my favorite trilogy of all time, maybe above Star Wars, is the Apes trilogy, the Matt Reeves Ape trilogy, and Andy Serkis plays the leader Ape Caesar. And like you see a lot of it in this series of him like taking on that mantle of being a leader. Like he knows that he's been put there by the Empire and like he's had to live with that for so long, but now he's being thrust into a totally different thing and he knows he's in the position to get everybody out. But like, I just love the way he considers the consequences, and like when they're going back into their cells after Andor's like still trying to talk him into it. And he looks at how many days are left on his sentence, like 212 or something like that. Maybe it's got to be less than that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, he looks and then he like looks away, and then in that moment he decides like he's never getting out unless they do this, and he's finally listening to Andor. So cool.
So good.
Yeah.
And one thing I do like in the beginning of this episode as well, kind of along with what you're saying, is that this whole time we've seen Andy Serkis so confident, right? And then they're having this exchange, and then it cuts to on program, and Andor does it. He said his piece, said what he wanted to say, and he's confident, ready to go. And you see
Kino Loy.
Kino Loy.
I think Kino Loy.
I'm going to call him
right?
Kino.
Okay.
And it cuts to him, and his hair's all a mess, and his face is just like, and like he's shooken up. He's like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And then he gets over to get on program. And so that's, you kind of see the dominoes start to fall for him to make the decision. But visually, like nothing, like we're saying, nothing was said. He didn't say all those things. You just saw in that split moment what was going on.
Another great point. You're excellent. That's why it's such a great casting. Is Andy Serkis also is like the father of modern motion capture, and one of the amazing things about him is like his facial acting is like a tier above everybody else.
Yeah.
So like the way that he processes thoughts in this show, it tells a whole story on his face. I mean, a lot of actors can't do that, you know? So I love that.
And I mean, going along with that, because I just watched Lord of the Rings where he does Gollum.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you see that he's got to do all these expressions to get that. And so that, yeah, like you're saying, he's done it for so long, it just easily flows into his just regular acting without having to do motion capture, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. He played Kong in Jack Black's King Kong. He played Snoke.
Yes, which does bring me to a question later on for this.
Yeah, right. Caesar in the Apes trilogy. Smeagol, Gollum, whatever.
Yeah, whatever name you want to take.
I mean, he's just legendary. He also played Smaug, I think.
Did he really?
Wait, no. Just kidding. That's Benedict Cumberbatch.
He played Smaug?
Yeah.
Schmag.
Sorry. Anyway,
Interesting.
he's been in a lot.
Yeah, he's amazing and he does great. One of my things I wrote was maybe it's the helmets that make stormtroopers so bad at aiming, because when you watch the scene where they're doing the prison break, they're nailing people down there. Like they're getting things thrown at them, but they're still able to shoot them down.
Yeah.
I was like, I love this because I love actually seeing like this. To me, I was like, that's more accurate. That they're not dropping everyone because they're still getting hit by things, so they're just taking back. But they get a good amount.
That's another great part of this show is like nobody's protected by plot armor, really.
Yeah.
Other than like Cassian.
Cassian. He's like the only one.
Yeah.
And Forrest Whitaker
Yeah.
saw.
But yeah, they can just kill people all the time, and it even adds to it, you know?
It's awesome. I love that scene because because I hate watching a movie and I'm like, oh, no one died. Yeah. Everyone got out. It's not even a scratch. So I love it when you see these consequences, especially that one guy who, I don't know, I think he has a name, but in the very beginning, he's climbing on it, breaks down.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, this guy's going to be a pretty key factor to this whole thing. And then 2 minutes later, he gets shot.
Yeah, because it lingers on that guy.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, is this like a character we see later in the series? Like, why is it lingering on this guy for so long? But yeah.
Drop them.
Drop them right then.
It's awesome. Love it. And I just love that about movies and TV shows. The next thing I have is when they break into the main part where all the Empire is, to tell them to shut off the floors.
Oh yeah, great stuff.
What I love is it just like he says, turn it off. And he's like, we can't do it. He just shoots the guy
Yeah.
and goes, how about you? He's like, yeah, I'll turn it off.
Yeah.
Which is like, I love that. That's how you get power.
It's awesome. I also love like some of the dialogue in that too. They're like rationalizing what's going on. The guy's like, well, it's hydraulic power. Like if we turn it off, it'll take months to put back to turn back on. And Andor's like,
You
I
think
don't
I
like
care?
you don't understand the situation.
Yeah,
you know,
you're
like
so out of touch.
so cool.
Yeah. Because to him, that is a big worry because that's probably in his training. They tell him all these
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
So that's his first reaction. And the Cassian's like, you think I'm going to be here? I'm planning to get out of here. I don't care how long it takes
Yeah.
you to get it.
Also, right after that, when all the guards are like hiding,
Mhm. Oh, yeah. In the little room.
like again, we've talked about this, but like that's the weakness of the Empire is that it's built on fear. So like when that fear of a hierarchy is gone, everything else just crumbles. You know.
Exactly. Like, they're like, well, we're not, with what I've seen, we're not winning this.
Yeah.
And they're hiding it out. Also, sorry, going back, I love the part where Cassian's trying to convince them all that they need to break out. And they're like, Cassian, get off the floor. And he's still talking. And
Yeah.
it's like, dun, dun, and he steps off and just
Yeah.
barely makes it, but he's not even phased by it.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. There's just so much depth to that first character.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a cool little part. Sorry, I get excited.
That's fine, dude. That's what we're here for.
My last thing is the question about Snoke, but I don't know if you have anything between that.
The best monologue in all of Star Wars is later in
Yes.
this episode.
Yeah, so
And we've been talking about the reality of dialogue, and I think this is like a necessary tone shift later in the episode because this is not how somebody would talk. I don't think.
right. I don't know. Who would stand there?
Yeah,
but it works.
but it's just as powerful, and I want to read it if you don't mind.
I'm glad because I would put in my thing we should dissect the monologue. So I'm
Okay.
actually glad you're doing this. Go ahead.
Should I read it in his accent if I can?
I think it'd be really good.
I don't know if I can. I'll try, but I might giggle.
Don't do it. Just
No, it won't be his accent. I'll just do his
okay.
do his voice.
Okay.
No, I can't do that. So his spy in the ISB is like, "What are you sacrificing?"
Yeah.
And he's like,
Who knew that question was having so much power?
seriously. Well, that's another cool part of it is like, even though it may not be how somebody would realistically respond, it informs into Luthen's life. Like he thinks about this all the time.
Yeah,
He's
like he was
put
ready.
a lot of, and he's like, what am I sacrificing? Calm, kindness, kinship, love. I've given up all chance at inner peace. I've made my mind a sunless space. I share my dreams with ghosts. I wake up every day to an equation I wrote 15 years ago, from which there's only one conclusion. I'm damned for what I do. My anger, my ego, my unwillingness to yield, my eagerness to fight, they've set me on a path from which there is no escape. I yearn to be a savior against injustice without contemplating the cost, and by the time I looked down, there was no longer any ground beneath my feet. What is my sacrifice? I'm condemned to use the tools of my enemy to defeat them. I burn my decency for someone else's future. I burn my life to make a sunrise that I know I'll never see. And the ego that started this fight will never have a mirror or an audience or the light of gratitude. I think he goes on, actually.
Yeah,
So what do I sacrifice? Everything.
dude,
Just crazy, huh?
first off,
Thank you.
didn't even
I couldn't do
stutter.
the accent.
Well, I-
Thanks. I was weeding it, so it was a little easier.
I get nervous when I read. So the power this monologue has, I was in the middle of work, and when he started, I stopped and just stared at the screen. I was just, for
Same thing.
the minute, 2 minutes, I was just listening to every word he was
Yeah.
saying. It's so, just, what am I and then the ending, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it gives you all these things of everything he goes through in life. Equation, and the only one answer, one conclusion is I'm damned for what I do.
Right.
I don't know, dude. There's so many things you could take a sentence for a week and dive into it in Star
Seriously.
Wars. But that's the rebellion. Like, this is someone who wants it so bad. He knows the outcome, whatever it's going to be, it's going to suck for him.
Yeah.
Everything he loves, everything he has is probably not going to matter for him because he doesn't show up in Rogue One.
Absolutely.
So who knows what his story has, but so good.
so great. It reminds me. This is gonna sound really stupid, but like Samuel Adams. You know Sam
I
Adams.
do that beer.
Yes, the beer.
The-
The guy that it's named for.
Yeah.
When the Revolutionary War was just at like a tipping point when it was about to start, he was like a key part. He was one of like the early founding fathers. And you know what? Maybe this story doesn't relate. I'll finish it anyway. The English gave him like an option to like just stop, and they would acquit him of everything. He would never be bothered again. Like they weren't going to take any action against him if he just stopped like rallying people to fight against them. Gave him like a total ticket to freedom. And like he just resisted and said, I'm not doing that. And then like used his whole life to fight against the British. And I can't remember how he died. But anyway, same kind of thing. Like, you know that you're not going to see the end of this. You're not going to be able to see it through.
Right.
But like, that's just so cool.
I mean, no, exactly. Like, you think of rebellions outside of like literal rebellions that happen in the real world.
Yeah.
And you think of people like this is everyday people. They sacrifice it and they'll never see it. They'll die for the cause and they die not knowing, but they die knowing they tried. Which shows like to the impact of this is like, I'm gonna do it because if it gives a chance to help somebody else or make this place better, I'm gonna do it. Which says a lot because if someone offered me immunity, I'd probably take it.
Yeah.
No, I probably
I know
wouldn't.
you would, dude. Whatever, man.
Against the Empire did from what I've heard in my book. F the Empire.
F the Empire for real. For real, dude.
For real.
But yeah, Luthen, awesome. I can't wait to see him in the second season. It's going to be baller killer. It's going to be great.
Wait. I was thinking today when I was listening to the monologue, which is funny you sent me that video because I thought that's what it was going to be.
I know, right?
Because he's in the background. I was like, oh, that's cool. Because I was like mad because like I was going to post this. Because I'm going to post the monologue just on our page. Whatever happens.
Great.
Maybe I'll get copyrighted. Who cares? I'm going to do it.
Who cares?
Because it's just so good. And like, maybe I could just show people that Andor like has power.
Yeah. Bring him back.
Anyway, but Unreal, just
yeah,
so good. Anyways, do you have anything else about that? Sorry.
To that point, we got to figure out how to edit, man. Like edits go crazy,
cool edits,
and then they don't
Star
get
Wars.
copyrighted.
Yeah, I know.
Like if we put like that stupid ass like gradient filter over a video like that, would we? Like, is that why people do it? Like, why all videos on TikTok look super low quality? Because they're like super filtered out.
Yeah, there's something with copyright. You have to have like a certain amount changed.
Okay. Well, we can talk about that later. But anyway, you should post it.
I mean, here's the thing though. TikTok does not care. Like they do, but you usually don't. Like more than anything, they just won't let you monetize it, which is like whatever.
Yeah.
Because you're just trying to get it out, get your name out.
We're making plenty from other sources, so.
We're making so much money. Whereas Instagram, dude, I posted the video that I was able to put on YouTube. I was able to put on TikTok, no issues. I posted for maybe 3 seconds, and theirs is like an audio. If it detects it, automatically flags it and says this is copyright. And I was like, it is.
Yeah.
You're not wrong, but that's their AI or whatever detects it because it said this music that's playing is a score from yada yada.
Right.
Do you have written permission? If so, you can appeal. And I was like, yeah, I do. They go, can you provide it? And I said, never mind.
Never mind. That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, now the conspiracy that some people have brought. But I asked you this, but I don't remember your answer. As you mentioned, Snoke is played by Andy Serkis, who is in this show. The very end, right? He says, "I can't swim."
Yeah.
Right. And it kind of just fades out, going up, and you see everyone jumping. Some people spectate. That's not a word.
Speculate.
That he is taken by the Empire, and they use him with the cloning to make him become Snoke. Jeez, dude, am I having an aneurysm today?
Maybe. I hope so.
Oh, yeah.
Just kidding.
Anyway, what are your thoughts on the conspiracy?
I think that would be a huge jump for Star Wars. I think that would suck. That being said, why are you casting the same guy in 2 roles? Like, maybe there is some... But then again, like, he's known for his great motion capture work and voice work. So, like, it would make sense why you'd want to use him more than once as more than one character without there having to be a connection.
Right.
I don't think there's any connection. I don't think Star Wars cares enough to make a connection.
That's
Honestly.
fair. Well, I mean, what you say makes perfect sense. Most people have no idea. Like, I had no idea until you told me. I was like, oh, it is. That's crazy. Because his voice and the way he acts is so different. You could never, I would never know. The only thing that makes me think maybe is like you were saying, Star Wars, at least when George was at the helm, continuity was everything.
Yeah.
Like, if this person's here, they're here. It's like very rarely you're going to get double cast. That just does not happen in Star Wars. We want to keep people who, I mean, that's why they bring back characters from years ago to come play again, because they don't want to recast, because that's not what Star Wars does. So that's the only thing that I'm like, maybe. But I'm like, I seriously doubt it. But it does play to a fun conspiracy that, I mean, he's stuck there.
Yeah.
He's in the Empire's hands. He just threw a rebellion, so why not take him and do some crazy testing? But
you've seen the leaked trailer for season 2, right?
Yeah.
Or was that leaked? Was that real?
No, it's leaked. It's had some good iPhone quality.
Yeah.
At the Star Wars Celebration.
I think he's in that, isn't he?
Is he?
I think let me check.
I'll
But
have to rewatch it.
I'm pretty sure he's still alive in some context. So maybe it is that where like he went
I mean,
back in and the guards were waiting right there, found him, and knew he orchestrated it, because he did get on the intercom and say, "This is Kino Loy. This is who I am."
Told him his shift that he was a part of and everything.
So maybe they want to punish him and make him an experiment. There's something to that.
Like, I think if anything, it would be they used him as like for experiences. Dude, I'm having such a bad time.
Come on, Bubba. Come on.
Experiments that maybe they used him as a clone. So it's like not him, but maybe some form of
Great point.
that they used to kind of try to get Palpatine. Who knows? It'd be interesting. I don't know. I don't think that's what it is, but it's fun to look into it.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you watch the next episode?
No.
That's okay, because
No, I haven't.
the truth is, it was an important episode, but you really don't get much out
Wait,
of it.
were we supposed to watch 2 today?
I thought we were, so I did.
Oh, that's my bad.
No, you're good, because here's the thing. As I was watching it, I was halfway through, and I was like, I haven't taken any, like nothing was standing out.
Yeah.
So all that happens is Marva dies.
Yes, which is important in the next episode.
Right, because that's everything.
Yeah.
And they just explain how does she die? They'll make her a brick and they put her on a wall.
Uh-huh.
And then they're going to ask for her to have a funeral. We'll decline it. She says, no, don't decline it. Give it to him. Keep it small. They want to try to bring out Andor.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of the whole. That's basically all this episode is setting up the last episode. But B made me sad because he's just sitting there and they're like, Do you want to come with us? And he's like, I want Marva. They're like, she's not coming back, buddy. I was like, that's depressing.
This is a little off topic for that, but kind of the same thing. I watched a TikTok today. I don't even know why this guy freaking posted it. What an asshole. But it was like a video of him literally putting his dog down. So like his dog was like a trained dog. So he really liked like biting stuff, right? So the owner is wearing the biting sleeve and like his dog is biting him. And then they like inject him with the stuff and his dog like just sits down.
Oh.
Dude, it made me so sad. I got home and looked at my dog and I was like, I can't even fucking look at you, man.
Dude.
But I'm tearing up right now. I'm such a pussy.
Can't, like animal videos, I cannot do.
Yeah.
I could literally watch a human being die.
I love watching that.
I cannot watch
I get on
dogs.
private mode on Reddit and I just
Jeez. Next employer, hey, let's see this Austin guy's got a podcast. Let's just scrub randomly to this moment. I just go on Reddit and watch people die.
Dude, that Kaysen, semi-autistic Kaysen, he tells that director that I have a movie podcast. It cringed me out so bad. And she goes, "What's it called?" And I said, "This is the craziest thing." The director and the producer, they go, "Oh, what's it called?" I go, "I'm not going to tell you because I don't want you to listen to it." And they go, "No, what's it called?" The producer pulls out her phone. So I told them, but I hope they never ever listen to that ever. But we're covering their movie tomorrow anyway, so whatever. But if the director India Donaldson listens to this and knows that I watch, I actually don't. That was totally a joke.
Well, this is what I think is going to happen. I think they followed it because they're nice people, and maybe if when you post that and it notifies them, I bet you maybe start it. Well, yeah, let's see what they have to say in the beginning. So just next week's episode, don't say anything crazy.
I'm not gonna say anything crazy. I swear.
Anyway, that's cool though.
Yeah.
They did that. Funny that case. And anyway, side note,
Yeah.
I saw on Letterboxd that you put our podcast on there too. I was like, oh, that was sweet of him. I didn't know you did that.
It's been on there for like a year.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You're a nice guy.
I have my link tree there too, and Disciples is above Film Fixation, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I remember seeing it. And I was like,
Yeah.
what a good guy.
Of course, man.
I didn't know that you was. I just didn't know you're such a good guy.
Literally, dude, I freaking love this podcast.
Anyway, the last 3 things I want to say about this episode that you didn't watch.
Shut up! I watched it a year ago.
I know. It really is just basically a filler. Nothing really happens. But the really cool part, it's a filler. But the really cool part is that Luthen gets caught in a tractor beam from the Empire.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's so cool. Yeah.
Are you memeing?
No.
Oh, I thought you were being sarcastic.
No, when he like
It is
drops
cool.
the scrap and like
Yes.
destroys the tractor beam dishes. So cool.
Because I love that it just looks like a beat up
Yeah.
old ship, and he's like has all these high tech stuff inside. Like, hey, give me a code, sends it to him. We're gonna board him anyways, and then he hits that button and just freaking annihilates it. And then they're coming after him, right? And he's got
Wait,
this
they're what?
They're what? They got he has the lasers, those 2 red lasers, and
Does that like barrel roll?
and he was charging up his freaking hyperdrive the whole time, just like, oh yeah, it's malfunctioning, and then takes off, and it cuts to the people, and they're just all,
Yeah.
what was that?
I remember the first time I watched that, I was like, that's a little far fetched. Like, how's he such a good pilot? Yada yada. But it's not, because he's been prepping for 15 years. He says, like, since the beginning of the Empire. Like, he has contingencies for everything. He's like Batman, kind of, honestly.
He really is.
Like the wise,
Second
quiet,
idea,
has a plan for everything.
second identity.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got a whole
It's
new,
a great point.
yeah. So yes, God, he's so good. I love him.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how he dies.
I can't wait, dude. I literally can't wait.
And then the last thing I have here, oh, that's what it was. Cassian calls in. It breaks my heart because he's like, hey, tell Marva I'm doing fine. I'll get there as fast as I can. Tell him I'm doing great and I'm thinking about her every day. He's like, Cassian. He's like, tell her I love her so much. He's like, Cassian. He's like, what? Marva died. And he just cuts. And then they played this music at the end. And I was like, oh, it's just super sad. And he's just sitting there, standing there. And then he goes back and talks to the guy like, what do we do? You know, people have to know what happened on the prison. And it's so good. You could just tell that he's not in it. He's like, doesn't even care about what just happened.
Yeah.
This huge life-changing moment just happened to him. And he's like, yeah, we got to tell people they need to know. Like, he's like, such good acting. Like, when someone gets a ticket and they go see the friend on their birthday and they're trying to be fun, but they don't want to kill themselves. So
Yeah.
they got a ticket.
Yeah. Who did that happen to?
Some really cool guy. Which, by the way, side note, when Gavin said after he did everything, or maybe it was you, I can't remember, it came out to almost the exact same price as the ticket for doing traffic school.
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I'd say
180 or what?
It would have been 180. It came out to 175. With
Oh, you
everything.
saved $5. That's good. And spent a whole bunch of your time on traffic school.
Funny thing is, I found one that was like, I just clicked through it. It wasn't like one of those you had to watch the video. It was like YouTube videos. You could click it and then answer the questions.
Oh, damn, that's bad. That's good.
15 minutes maybe. Cranked it, sent him the certification, and said, "Okay, thank you. We'll send it to the judge."
Dang.
The only good thing is it's not going on my record. Not the
How much
record.
does that matter
Sorry,
nowadays?
my insurance is what I meant.
Oh,
They don't report it to
yes.
my insurance.
Yeah,
that's
that's
why I didn't want it because my insurance will go up because the one I have sucks. Anyway, so it was good that happened.
That's good.
But it's funny because they do have it in their record. Because if I try to do it again, they'll say no. You can't have one within 24 months.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But if you're getting tickets within 24 months, you're kind of a goober. I used to in high school, but I haven't gotten it. Anyway, sorry. Go on.
Anyway, that's it. That's all I have for everything. And now I'm mad about my ticket again.
Well, good, man. Last time I saw you, that's all you could freaking talk about.
No, I could talk about how I kicked Gavin's ass in Topgolf.
Yeah, that was cool. That was really cool. Okay.
All right. Well,
Thank you for being a disciple of the Force.